In Kenya, an estimated 1.5 million people are living with diabetes. Out of this figure, more than 20,000 children are suffering from it. Diabetes is a metabolic disease in which a person has high blood sugar levels, either because the body does not produce enough insulin or because the cells do not respond to it. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas to enable cells to absorb sugar. It is used in the body to break down glucose into energy. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. In type 1, the body does not produce insulin. In type 2, either the body does not produce enough insulin or the cells ignore the insulin. Common symptoms of diabetes type 1 include frequent urination, excessive hunger, excessive thirst, dehydration, unexplained weight loss.
For type 1 diabetes, they will have to be on insulin injections for the rest of their lives. So type 1, you find it maybe even in young children. Although even a person who has type 2 diabetes, they could progress to type 1, so that later on in life they're using insulin. But generally, it's hereditary.
Common symptoms of type 2 diabetes include frequent urination, excessive hunger, fatigue, dehydration, numbness and tingling in feet, overweight, blurred vision.
Type 2 diabetes is found mainly in adult. Before it used to be called adult onset diabetes, but now we don't call it that anymore because we are finding even children who are getting type 2 diabetes or younger people because of the lifestyle. So type 2 can be caused by somebody being overweight, obesity.
Although diabetes is a chronic disease, it is manageable through insulin therapy and other medications. Eric Omamdi has been suffering with diabetes for several years now.
I've been living with diabetes for now over 7 years since diagnosis. But before the diagnosis, with the information I have, I had lived with the symptoms for roughly 2 to 3 years before diagnosis. I grew in a village in Siaya, and I would complain of the symptoms of diabetes. But because malaria is rampant there, I would be treated for malaria. My health had really deteriorated because I was also an adolescent. I developed very big acne, pimples, acne, which are like boil-like. This was due to elevated sugar levels. At Form 1, I would wet bed occasionally, but this had never been known. Even if you ask my mom today, she will tell you, even from the childhood, I never wet bed.
As a diabetes educator, Eric is able to increase awareness on his condition by volunteering for support groups and organizations.
They trained me, first of all, on diabetes management as a lay educator. So I've been counseling the young diabetics. Yeah, because somebody develops diabetes, they wonder, how am I going to cope?
He even took the time to screen me for diabetes and teach me how to inject insulin.
I inject myself twice in a day. That in mixed, but should there be an emergency or a sick day, somebody might need up to 3 times in a day.
The prevalence of diabetes in Kenya is rapidly increasing, but you should know that you can prevent this from happening to you by eating a well-balanced diet and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. There are key lifestyle modifications that you can implement to prevent diabetes. It is also important to get yourself screened for diabetes regularly. Normal blood glucose levels range between 3.5 and 6.
Make it a habit of testing your family members, just randomly, because you'll find that people, by the time you're getting symptoms, it's already advanced. You may be having a borderline, sugars above 8, between 8 and 12, and you have no symptoms at all.
The prevalence of diabetes is increasingly rising among children and young adults. Betty Zilper Onyango suffers from diabetes, which she inherited from her mother.
My dad, he noticed some of the symptoms that my mom was giving, like the desire to have water in your body all the time, to drink water all the time, and hunger that actually would lead you to eat like someone who actually has not had food for some months or ages.
At the age of 17, she has experienced some harsh challenges that come with living with diabetes.
Managing it was difficult because it was painful. It was actually painful, and injecting yourself every day was not easy for me by then. It has affected where I get to fall at times in school, and it actually hinders my education at times because you have to skip some of the lessons because maybe you have to be attended to.
Diabetic patients control their blood sugar levels by administering insulin, eating a well-balanced diet, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
That physical exercise, if weight loss is a strategy for a person who has type 2 diabetes, a loss of 5% of their current weight will actually help. If you're diabetic, you need to even break the 3 meals a day into smaller meals so that you're having 6 meals a day. So for diabetic management, the consistency of your diet throughout the day is what is important for you to be able to manage and control your blood sugars at a good level.
Healthcare providers and support groups have launched various diabetes screening initiatives nationwide. The Ministry of Health is spearheading a national strategic plan to create a standard framework for diabetes screening, care, and management.
The idea is to actually harmonize the way diabetes is managed, just the way we have a malaria program, we have a TB program, we have a HIV program. This is now the right time to have an NCD, non-communicable disease program, and diabetes has set the first step towards that.
With this framework in place, there is now hope that the prevalence of diabetes will decrease. Georgette Karathi, Citizen TV, Nairobi.